Hey everybody, Dr. Rob Silverman here, Amazon best-selling author of Inside Out Health. Got a whole bunch of people that asked me for this topic. I'm happy to share it with you. Uh, they want me to talk about detoxification. And it's so interesting because so many people asked me yesterday via DM, in person and online, and they said, well, what kind of cleanse do you like? What kind of liquid detox do you like? How many calories should I eat on detoxification? Do I really need to detox? And the answer is yes, you do need to detox. And yes, the answer is it's not a cleanse, it's a detoxification, and a juice cleanse doesn't work. And we're going to go through all these different things. So strap in, try and right now let your friends know, share it if you can. We're big on sharing the information, always reminding everybody out there to share it. In addition to that, I'm going to take a few minutes and really explain to you why you need to detox, what it is, and how to do it right. Hey, Cassie, how are you? It's good to see you. I'm going to take a quick look over here. I'm going to try and answer all the questions at the end. I'm going to try and focus in on what we want to talk about. I can tell you that I've been lecturing for about 12 years to docs, and almost all since I started coming out of chiropractic school to patients. And detox has been at the top of everybody's conversation, and there's such confusion. We're going to resolve all the confusions right now. So question number one is, do you really need to detox? And the answer is yes. Toxins, toxins, toxins. Essentially, you cannot be a clean fish in a dirty bowl. The hidden load is what really gets us. Most people don't necessarily see the toxin. They don't understand that there's environmental toxins. There's personal toxins. There's toxins in our food. Great example of a toxin in our food would be glyphosate. Glyphosate is in Roundup. It's in the non-organic soil, and that's in our food. And glyphosate is extremely deleterious to overall health. Glyphosate causes a lot of damage, and it's a toxin. So detoxification, you're detoxing the liver. And we'll go through the premise and the properties of the liver. So that hidden load, just let's take a look at the idea of the hidden load. What's invisible is really hurting us. What about the chimney smoke? What about the paint? I think we're having a little trouble with the video right now. So let's continue, and let me take a sec. Let me see if it's still on, because I think we're having a little trouble with the video right now. And I'm going to go check my phone. Sorry for holding you guys all up, and I'll see if we're still on live. If not, we're going to come right back. Yeah, it looks like we're live. I agree. I'm really sorry about that. We're live, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks a lot. It just said we're sorry. Sorry about that. So let's get back to it. The hidden load. What's invisible is hurting us. What about the traffic? Now, granted, people aren't driving as much. We don't see as many people out. Traffic poses an issue. What about the paint? When you look at my paint, I used a natural paint. I don't own any stock in natural, but we used a natural paint, and the natural doesn't have all those leads and chemicals and such. What about the sewage? What a problem. The air. I mean, goodness gracious, we're talking about the air. I mean, do we wear a mask? Do we not wear a mask? We all have that conversation. And I want to go into personal goods, healthcare goods, chemical goods, and things of that nature. So we have environmental toxins. All of us live in an ever-increasing toxic world. Many of the toxins abundant in our environment today didn't even exist 30 years ago. So the chiropractor, the nutritionist of 20, 30 years ago didn't deal with the toxic load that we deal with today. The person didn't deal with the toxic load. So the question is, has the literature really caught up? The need for detoxification. The body's burden has been from environmental toxins has just grown up from pesticides, herbicides, chemical solvents, xenobiotics, and the such. Toxins are in our food, air, and our food supply. So we are exposed. I just got a little memo here. I just want to hit a like. We use VOC-free paint. Yes, we do, and that we do recommend the VOC paint. Toxic overload. Since World War II, believe it or not, we have got this over 80,000 different toxins. Neurotoxins were found in different studies in 33% of randomized sampling of drinking water. The U.S. allows over 10,000 chemical additives to our food supply alone. So we could stay here all day, and we could talk about toxins. I'm going to go into a little bit more detail on some more toxins, but how would you know if you have toxic buildup? What symptomology would you have? We're going to stick easy. We're not going to do blood. We're going to do symptomology. Well, the common signs of toxic buildup would be fatigue, food allergies, joint pain, headaches, possibly constipation, mood swings, immune weakness. So let's take a second. So you're saying immune weakness. Obviously, immune function is the top of everybody's mind right now with COVID-19. There's more macrophages in the liver than in any other part of your body. There's a direct pathway between your gut and your liver, and we all know 80% of our immune cells are in our gut. Whatever you do to your gut, you do to your liver. Whatever you do to your liver, you do to your gut. So you're never going to have in a gut restorative program, or like my 7R program, I take into account in the detox during it. So you're never going to really be cleared if you do detox if you don't also incorporate some concepts of gut health. Skin conditions, people have like a lot of acne, maybe even some psoriasis you could attribute to toxic overload, abdominal pain, sinus congestion, chronic back aches. So many people come in and say, my joints hurt, I have fibromyalgia, I have this, I have that. They don't realize that they are a cesspool of toxic overload. And where are these toxins stored? Just as an aside, a little factoid. Fat cells are depositories for toxins. Hormonal imbalances, and we can go into more detail as we go through this. Hormonal imbalance, testosterone imbalance, and which I'm going to really break down in a little while, estrogen imbalance. So we have an issue because estrogen gets detoxed through two different pathways in the liver. Weight loss resistance, goodness gracious. Let me stop right here. When I first started, by my own admission, I was doing a lot of weight loss. And people lost weight. I was happy with the results. Unfortunately, there was a segment of the population who hit their plateau. And I always thought the plateau was they weren't working hard enough. Many people thought that. I did not understand the idea of plateau, so I understood that detoxification aided in weight loss, and you needed to detox probably before and during the weight loss the weight loss time. Here's why. Fat cells are depositories for toxins. They're right here. So as you shrink the fat cell, which is what you do on weight loss, you shrink it so it gets tighter, your skin looks tighter, out comes all these toxins. The toxins float around. Now, where do they ultimately go? They ultimately go to the liver. So your liver has to be functioning well. If your liver isn't functioning well and you're not supporting the bifunctionality, we'll go into that, of the liver, allowing it to be balanced and break the toxins down, your body has a problem. These toxins are now being sped around. They're being sent through the liver, as we'll discuss, and now they're being made into intermediary, reactive intermediaries. So essentially, you are retoxifying the body at a rate because you're trying to lose weight, shrinking fat cells, and your liver is not functioning. So what does your body do to adapt? The great adapter, the human body. It stops burning fat. So all you people out there in a weight loss program, if that practitioner, if whoever is giving you their advice and they're not considering the idea of detox before or during weight loss, you're not optimizing the amount of pounds you can lose. You're not optimizing your body composition. You're clearly not optimizing your health. That's about as controversial as I'll get for today. So weight loss resistance comes from the inability many times to not detoxify toxins and your liver not optimizing its functionality. Difficulty in concentrating. A lot can be attributed to that inability to concentrate. When you look at the idea that these toxins, if they damage your gut from your liver, they can also damage your blood-brain barrier. They can make you more sluggish, etc. So the common signs, once again, if I can go through the order, would be fatigue, allergies, joint pain, headaches, constipation, mood swings, immune weakness, skin issues or skin conditions, abdominal pain, sinus congestion, chronic backache, hormonal imbalance, weight loss resistance, and difficulty in concentrating. Let's get to the idea of exposure to toxins. So the CDC several years ago studied and found 6 toxins that were seen. Now, these toxins were studied in the umbilical cord of children. And when they studied for 287, virtually every toxin was found to be positive there. When they studied humans and added 75, all 75 were then present. So what we're finding out is the more we test for, the more toxins. 6 in particular came to mind. The first one is a flame retardant. The flame retardant is PBDE. It's a flame retardant, and that flame retardant is there so obviously you don't go up in flames. When I lecture, there's carpeting in many rooms. There's curtains. There may be tablecloths. They all have flame retardants. And the reason is if I drop the match, they want to give us the opportunity to get out the exit. These flame retardants, though necessary to avoid fire, when fire is there, are very hazardous to our health. The biggest flame retardant you're going to find, the hidden flame retardant that I told people, is in their mattress. You spend a third of your time in your mattress. We only carry here Bioposture. Bioposture has no flame retardants. Anybody interested, feel free to reach out to me on that. Let's get to the big guy, BPA. That's in plastics. Nobody does a better job talking about BPA. Has a multitude of articles published in Dr. Tatis Karazian. He's a forerunner in functional medicine and functional neurology, does a great job. He has his own institute. He's got multiple articles on BPA. So reading a lot of what he has and other experts, BPA, it's in the plastics. So where do you see it? Any plastic? So I've got a cup, a mug. It's not plastic. You don't want it either plastic cup or the plastic covering in a coffee. No bueno. The plastics in general, it's in paper. So when you look at that ink in your credit card, that's a problem. Your boarding pass, if you use the old style boarding pass, paper, like this, pads, BPA. So you get it in your hands, it goes through your hands. If you eat like a finger food, like a sushi or a French fry, you get it in your mouth. BPA has been shown to be extremely ruinous to overall health. BPA can be obesogenic. It can lead you down a path of gaining weight. It's also blocks estrogen from getting absorbed. The BPA is so close to the estrogen molecule that it lands on an estrogen receptor, blocking estrogen from coming in. By blocking the estrogen from coming in, women, men also, but women get extra circulating estrogen. When they do, they increase their incidence of PMS. Nobody likes that. It makes it harder for them to get pregnant. BPA is, without question, leading you down a path of infertility issues. And BPA also, in addition to obesogenic and estrogenic, it is also extremely toxic. So one of the first things I'll do when I run for president, that's just sort of a little soapbox joke, is get rid of BPA. Now, before everybody asks, BPS also poses an issue because anything with BP is an issue. So Canada's got BPS, we have BPA, all in no bueno. Non-cooked stickware, PFOA, poses an issue. The George Foreman grill, the old iron, steel grills work really well. And here's a couple of things that become real personal to me because I drink a lot of organic coffee. Coffee, acrylamide. Coffee should be boiled. The water boils at 212. When you go over 248 degrees Celsius, it's called a Maitland reaction, and it releases all the acrylamide. So people usually do it high and fast, like in a Starbucks and a Dunkin' Donuts, and it makes it very bitter. That acrylamide is extremely damaging to people's health. To piggyback on that, when you think about acrylamide, it's in burned carbohydrates like French fries. So we don't want any acrylamide, we don't want non-organic coffee, and we want organic coffee brewed at a correct temperature. Seafood. Many seafoods have a lot of mercury and lead, so we do want to limit or watch the specific seafoods that we have. We always want wild smash fish, and MTBE, it's secondhand smoke, what you breathe outside. So those are the 6 biggest toxins, but where do we get them from? Well, I'm not picking on our women out there. I'm not picking on our lady friends, but women use 168 chemicals on our body daily. The average woman in the U.S. uses 12 personal hair care products a day. Men, for whatever reason, don't use as much. They're only exposed to 85 products daily. And women who are exposed to these levels usually go into menopause a little earlier. So where are they? Well, number one, the lipstick is gluten. Shampoos, eye eye mascara, any kind of fake tan. Just take what I used this morning. I used body lotion. Everything I use is organic and chemical free, but if I didn't, think about what I would expose my body to. Toothpaste, dental floss, mouthwash, just 3 there. Moisturizer, eye moisturizer, that's 5. Deodorant, that's 6. Body soap, shampoo, conditioner, I'm at 9 already. Just right off the top, I'm at 9 already. I see a little comment, so I've got to go for the comment, I think. A lot of chemicals in makeup, right? Don't makeup on me today. But yes, a lot of chemicals on makeup. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency actually released toxic inventory. In 2012, it was reported that we in the U.S. used 3.63 billion pounds of chemicals that were released in the air, water, or land. Now, interesting, the liver. The liver is under extreme pressure. It's under tremendous load. So the liver has many functions. The way I like to describe the liver is very simply in that the liver works in the body like an oil filter works in the car. Your liver processes the body's stored sugar, glycogen. It converts the sugar you eat to unusable energy. It creates bile, which is a critical element to aid in the digestion of fats. Bile also is not only the digestion of fats, bile is going to be a critical element helping you avoid something called SIBO. I think my buddy's watching, Dr. Lauren Marks, a SIBO expert. Bile is also a critical element to help with leaky gut. Bile is probably something that's truly overlooked in what we call the functional medicine world. Detoxing the liver also removes estrogens and epinephrine, but estrogen is something that I want to emphasize. It also converts thyroid hormones. Let me say that again. Liver also converts thyroid hormones. So many people that have a thyroid problem could benefit from detoxification. I can't tell you how many people have come in and said, my thyroid is slow. Let's try and detox and see where your thyroid markers go from there. Your liver is your primary detoxification organ. Your brain is your first brain. Your gut is your second brain. Your liver is your third brain. It fights off infections. It neutralizes toxins. It helps to clot blood. It controls blood glucose levels. It breaks proteins down into amino acids. It produces cholesterol, bile, and it produces its own protein. Now, I'm going to have Stephanie in the front. She's going to add a link of this particular slide. This slide I took right from the internet, so I don't have to use a citation. It's the most commonly used slide. When you see this, I wish I had this for everybody here. This slide will really explain what's going on in the liver. I'm going to take a step back, and here's our liver. Here's phase 1, and here's phase 2. The liver is split into half in 2 phases. So you want to bifunctionally modulate it, meaning you want phase 1 and phase 2 to be equal. You want phase 1 and phase 2 to be in sync. If you look at your liver as a seesaw and not a volume and a seesaw, you'll know that you want it balanced. Unfortunately, most people's liver are imbalanced. Phase 1 is moving too quick and phase 2 is moving too slow. What speeds up phase 1? Well, just a couple of things I'll mention. Too much coffee, alcohol, and specific toxins. We could have a litany of things that can elevate phase 1. And what slows down phase 2 is the inability to use nutrients. When you look at this slide later, after watching this video, you're going to go, wow, there's a plethora of nutrients that I need. There are 5 pathways in phase 1. There are 6 pathways in phase 2. They're like conveyor belts. I'm going to go through them. And then you need a ton, a cornucopia, of antioxidants right here because the liver is truly not connected. There's like a little hole here, and in the hole poses an issue. So you get toxins. Most toxins are fat soluble. Fat soluble toxins need to go through the liver to be made into water soluble toxins. Unfortunately, when you break down in phase 1 the fat soluble toxin, it's broken down to what we call a reactive intermediary. That's why you take so many antioxidants here to support, then try and stop and blunt those free radicals from going back into the body. But typically, if you have this unleveling of phase 1 and phase 2, the fat soluble toxin that became a reactive intermediary will go back to the body and go for a secondary tissue attack, which is really bad, obviously. So here you are trying to lose weight, you can't break it down, your liver can't break the toxins, and you've got all this going on and it's just not working. So you need to, once again, not to belabor the point, bifunctionally modulate these 5 pathways with these 6 pathways, phase 1 and phase 2, and work at the antioxidant. So if you're able to take all these nutrients, and we've got detox programs and products here if anybody's interested, you then break down that fat-soluble toxin to a water-soluble toxin. So that water-soluble toxin then can go phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, that water-soluble toxin then can go to the kidney to be excreted. How does it get to the kidney? It's all depicted on your pH. So if your pH is high, you elevate your pH. Potassium citrate is a great nutrient. pH fruits and vegetables, good alkaline foods, you can then get rid of it. Estrogen and some other structures actually go through a processes, with bile and then go to the stool to be removed from the body. Unfortunately, in many instances, something called beta-glucuronidase comes in. It's a carbohydrate enzyme that blocks it. So when I do detoxification programs, in additionally to the nutrients I need for the liver and to support the pH, I always add a probiotic, because the probiotic blocks that beta-glucuronidase. So understand, if you're doing a detox, there's some criteria that are needed. Now, interesting, I was talking to a few people who originated a lot of the detoxification talks and a lot of the detoxification formulas, and I asked them, how'd you come about it? The exact picture, which I'm going to share, they used and just went by the science. So let's get into those phase 2 pathways. Basically, those pathways are sulfuronation, their primary cortisol pathway. We've got a glutaric acid pathway. We have a glutathione pathway. Glutathione, the master antioxidant. Interesting. It breaks down toxins and fat-soluble toxins. Acetyl-CoA is attached to toxins. That's another one. Amino acid conjugation and methylation. Methylation is the big one that removes estrogen. And that's what I want to talk about a lot today. I see I have a little question cooking, so let me roll down. Thank you, Doc. I've been enjoying your lectures at Functional Medicine University for many years. Didn't know you're teaching patients here on Facebook. Fantastic job, Dr. Alexandra. Thank you very much. That I appreciate. It's great to have you join us. And as you guys know, I'm always on Facebook. It's not my information, it's someone else's. I'm just sharing it. I'm here to share it. So liver detoxification of estrogens. Metabolism of estrogen takes place primarily in your liver, like we said before. So you want a favorable phase 1 and phase 2 clearance for female long-term health. You want to get rid of extra estrogen. Remember, women are under an estrogen dominant state because they're taking extra estrogen, if you will, through birth control pills, and also in the idea of they're also taking them in other means of pills. Now, by the way, if estrogen's high in a man, their testosterone goes low. And BPA is notorious for that because BPA raises estrogen levels. So men, you do want to do a detox also. And you do want to detox your estrogen. Remember, it's a negative feedback loop. So here we have toxic chemicals being consumed. You're leading to a loss of what we call immune tolerance. You're going to get an imbalanced microbiota and gut inflammation. You're going to lose some gut integrity. You're then going to have some cell-mediated immune response. You're going to get cross-reaction for various tissue antigens. You're going to lose the blood-brain barrier integrity, and you're going to have multi-tissue organ inflammation and autoimmunity. That was from a article I saw that, again, Dr. Tatis Karazi and Dr. Arista Wujajani had put out. So taking the toxic chemicals, damage your gut, damage your liver, damage your blood-brain, get neuroautoimmunity. So detox is critical, and all the docs who you go to who venture into the functional nutrition, functional medicine world need to look at the idea of the detox. Now, a couple of things that people ask me about juicing and other fasting programs actually deprive yourself of essential nutrients needed to support detoxification. So one of the things that speeds up phase 1, which I didn't tell you before, was sugar. Number 2, you need a decent amount of calories, but you also need protein. So doing a fruit detox just raises phase one. It doesn't work. You may have lost weight, but you put the weight back on and you didn't get yourself healthy. There's specific nutrients, there's specific calorie contents that are needed to really have an efficient detoxification. And let's talk about what I call my 21st century model of detoxification. How do I explain it to everybody? Well, we talked about phase one, phase two in the liver, and phase three getting out of the body. Well, phase one in my house is putting the garbage bag and dumping the garbage in the garbage bag. That's phase one. Both my wife and I do that. Phase two is the only job I have in the house. I'm to take the garbage outside so the sanitation engineer can pick it up. Phase one, putting it in. Phase two, when it's all filled, take it out. Phase two. Phase three, the sanitation engineer takes it and carts it away, excretes it. Now, if I go away for the weekend on a talk and I forget to take the garbage out, what happens when I come back Sunday night or Monday morning? What does that garbage look like? That garbage looks like and smells like it's rotten, it's horrible. That's everybody's liver who's listening right now who hasn't detoxed. If you have any questions about detoxification, if you have any needs, we've got detox programs. I will set up a link. Stephanie in the front will do the link. This was a little lengthier than I usually do. I really appreciate everybody spending some time. Let me make another run through and see if you guys can do me a big favor. Please like, comment. I know you're going to see it later. We had a nice amount of people on today. Like, click, share, comment, share the material. Let me know. This is because you asked for it. We talked about detoxification. It's always my pleasure. Dr. Rob, always yours in health.